Welcome to the What's Lacking podcast. It's your host, Larry Atencia. With me today is Dionte. How old are you and where are you from?
39. I'm actually from D.C., man. I was born in D.C., raised in Prince George's County. Moved to Philadelphia when I was about 12.
Okay. Would you say that you had already developed a sense of yourself by 12 years old? Because it seems like you're still repping DC super hard, but, Philly at 12?
I mean, kind of. I kind of knew myself. I knew who I was. I knew I wasn't a Redskins fan. When I first got to Philadelphia, it was more or less about my accent. More people
Oh,
would stop my accent. Like, oh, man, you definitely not from here.
okay,
So,
okay.
cousins and all that, they would just try to play on words that I would say.
What do you do for a living?
Currently, I work at ICS. I run a small little contracting company. Um, and, especially, trying to make ends meet.
What's the name of the contracting company? Maybe I could put a link on the description.
Name of it's called Casual Perceptions.
Sounds good. Are you married with children?
I have a girlfriend. She has a kid. I got a kid. We co-parent. I'm a single father.
Okay.
She's a single mom. We co-parent. It's a real special thing, man. Proud to be in both these kids' lives.
What were your parents like growing up?
I didn't really have a father when I was younger. My mom was kind of like doing her best, working so many jobs when I was younger. She sent me away to go live with my aunt, my uncle. My aunt was an educator. My uncle was a militant man. I basically had a good life. I had a good upbringing. It was very strict, very strict.
Is that the reason why you moved to Philadelphia?
Well, I was born in D.C. I moved to Philly when I was like 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my mom's brothers passed away, and she moved us here to Philly.
Oh, okay.
And then my mom kept trying to stay here in Philly. She was doing her best. My aunt and everybody was still out in Maryland, so my mom sent me back there. It was good upbringing. Good upbringing. Came back here to live with her when I was 12. Yeah.
What part of Philly?
Oh, man, I've lived everywhere in Philly, bro. From West Philly to West Oakland. I guess they call it Uptown.
Uptown, yeah.
Now I'm living in now it's called Center City. I'm in now.
I grew up in New York City, so when I moved to Philly and I started, hearing people say Uptown, I was like, "Oh, you from, New York too?" And they're like, "Nah, like Uptown, Philadelphia." I was like, "What?" It took a little getting used to. And you said your uncle was a militant man, was very strict, disciplined. Was he also in the military or just very strict in the household?
He was in the military. He definitely was in the army. I think he was he really talked too much about it, but he was one of those people that fought in Vietnam type.
Okay.
Traumatic type of dude when it came to certain things. I remember being a kid, I tried to play a joke on him. I came home from work, probably like 8. It was late, and hopped out and jumped on him, and he threw me across the room.
Oof.
And that's when I realized what PTSD was, and I was like, man. But he was a cool dude. It was still fun. It's a surprisingly fun thing. Some things you wouldn't think would come out of it.
What was school like for you?
School, again, transitioning from different neighborhoods and different states and all of that. I was always like somewhat like the outsider, and I would try to fight to fit in, or be the one to try to fit in. But I didn't start realizing that it didn't matter if I fit in until I got older. School was great. I went to a magnet school when I was in elementary school, and I moved here to Philly. Went to Wagner Middle School, went to Martin Luther King, went to Alden Reed, went to Philadelphia Regional was where I graduated. Yeah, man, I'm out of school, man.
Good. It sounds like a good experience, though, in terms of magnet schools, which were, I think, a little bit bigger back in the day. And, they kind of got replaced by charter schools, would you say?
Right.
Definitely a model that I think a lot of people in our type of neighborhoods were looking to get into. I remember when I was growing up, yeah. It was like you wanted to go to the magnet schools and get away from a lot of the rowdiness and craziness of the regular neighborhood public schools.
When I first moved to D.C., I went to a school that was called Let Low Tell It. And it was in D.C., man. And these kids are two different kids. They were totally different kids. And then I got in a little trouble. I was like, look, I'm moving you. You're going to go to school in Maryland. So she sent me to school in Maryland. That was the first school I got into. It was a magnet school, man. And it was wonderful, man. Yeah. One of those experiences you like, man, you wish you bring your kids up in.
Yeah. And then in Philly, you had mentioned a few of those schools and maybe perhaps not fitting in quite as well. Was it because you were used to the magnet school environment, or was it also just a matter of naturally not being able to at the beginning fit in, coming from DC and the accent, like you said, or Just finding
Well,
yourself because it's middle school.
well, that too. Finding because I was coming in from elementary and the middle school, man, and finding yourself, you're going through different changes and all of that, and then also the accent. Then I realized when I came here, also everybody in Philly is related to somebody. Like they're related to everybody. Everybody's related to. So it's like coming into the neighborhood and you're like, oh, I want to play with you guys, and they're like, who kid is you? He's like, I'm Beverly's kid. And like nobody knew who Beverly is.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I adapted, got to meet a lot of good friends, good people, strong-headed people, and
Okay.
kept myself out of trouble. That was like the main thing. I knew if I didn't, there might have been consequences from few family members if I didn't. So
How did you navigate that? How did you keep yourself out of trouble growing up?
music stayed at the Power Center, which I don't really hear too much about the Power Center anymore. And just being around my friends that we were not geek kids, we were, watching Dragon Ball Z,
Hmm.
stuff like that. Just staying away from people that were doing anything that wasn't, kid stuff. That was my
Yeah.
way of navigating. I've seen a lot in Philadelphia from a little short time I've been here. It was like, man, won't be me. And having a single mom, you already know, man. Listen, I don't know if you know too much about it, but having a single mom, it ain't happening. That's like having four parents in one person, man. So
Okay. What are your political views?
right now, I'm a little bit not too much tied into trying to be around politics like that. Like my mom is actually the committee woman for my ward, my neighborhood, and I'm looking at it more or less like no matter who we vote for, we're always going to run into some problem. It's always going to be an issue and always going to be a problem. This right now is probably like our biggest election over top of Obama and everything. And I just feel like it's going to be a short time of a long struggle to
Mm.
get through these 4 years to hope to get in a stability of not going to war or a lot of I see now there's going to be situations with poverty and this thing with people coming across the border. Like I said, I've been trying to stay away from too much of it, man. But being in the household, my mom is kind of like I'm going to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that there seems to be this extreme polarization that has occurred, and it's tugging at the sort of unity that has always been tenuous, but felt stronger in a prior generation, in prior years and prior decades, maybe '90s into the 2000s. There was this high mark of positivity and optimism in the country. And then from the 2010s onward, it's been sort of crises after crises, right? So we had the 2008 financial meltdown. Then after Obama's election, there seemed to be a reaction against that, and from that maybe the Trumpist movement emerged, and that has been the struggle that we've been fighting for in terms of culture, politics, of Trump and his movement, and the leftist
And I,
liberal response.
right.
Are you religious?
I was born in a Christian household, man, and this is one of them households. You think you're coming home from school to do your homework, and it ain't happening. You go straight to church. So
Okay.
yeah, very much religious. Today's my mom's birthday actually, so I'm surprised she's probably at church right now. And I'm sure very much religious.
Happy birthday to mom.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate it. I shout out, let her know you said that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
of course. So was it Baptist or
Oh, you mean
evangelical?
yeah, we were Baptist? Yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I went to church in D.C. was Metropolitan Baptist Church. Um, Again, being in that church all of the time, I got to meet a lot of famous people.
Oh.
As far as activists, I met Maya Angelou.
Mm.
I've met Jesse Jackson. Being in the choir, actually had to sing for Nelson Mandela. Yeah, man, I
Wow,
had a
yeah.
crazy in
That's
third grade,
impressive.
man. In third grade, being ripped out of school, man. Out of
for
school.
for a great reason.
All right, for a great reason. For a great
Yeah.
reason. It was a great reason. No idea what I was doing. I got there. It was like, oh, okay, cool.
This is the second time you brought up music and in your youth. I know you said doing music, pursuing music was something that kept you out of trouble, and you were also part of the choir. So, what type of music were you into, or were you making, or it was just something that you just gravitated toward?
Definitely something I gravitated toward. I mean, I grew up in it, so it was nothing I
Hmm.
could run away from. So I'm more into everything. I like R&B. I like rap. Probably say more of a rap artist than anything else. I definitely still got a little bit of singing and vocals in me. And I recently we just did a music video that did very well. I think it's like 4.7K views on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did the act. I didn't do any singing or rapping in it. Beautiful music. Actually, the name of the song is actually beautiful. It's a great
Yeah.
message, man. Positive message to everybody.
I'll add the link to that video as well. I saw it. Really great. Great acting as well. So you have some artistic, creative aspect to yourself as well. How did you develop that part of yourself?
Again, that was from childhood, man. My aunt, and I don't even know how she got me into it, but she somehow got me into doing like modeling, like Old Navy when I was a kid. It wasn't like major things. It was like in schools and stuff like that. So like
Mhm.
modeling, the new school wear and stuff like that. And then doing plays. She would make sure I'm doing the plays and I'm in the plays and all of that. I could be like, oh man, I don't want to do this stuff. And, eventually I got older. It's like, all right, cool. I can do it now. I know how to do it.
Seemed like you appreciate now how she was expanding your horizons and making you take risks and roles and doing different things just so that you could have a diverse childhood and explore different ways of being and doing things.
I definitely give her a shout out. Every now and then I see that I guess they're the commanders now. The
Oh,
commanders. I give her a call. I'm like, all right, y'all. I see y'all. Whatever. I
yes.
definitely give her like stepping up to the plate and taking care of
Yeah.
somebody that she have to take care of.
In terms of life, what's something you regret?
I don't really have too many regrets, man. I look at everything that has ever happened to me, good or bad. It's always been a blessing, man. I don't really have any regrets, man. I wake every day. Every day I wake up, I'm just like proud of. Like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. I'm here. All right, man. Great, cool. Thank you, bro.
No regrets, just lessons.
Right, just lessons.
Okay.
Yeah, some hard lessons. Some hard lessons.
The hard lessons sometimes seem to be the best ones, though, right? Like they're the ones that show us how to really make drastic changes as
Right.
opposed to just going down the same perhaps wrong path.
Or doing like frogs and just jumping out there and leaping into something you don't know about. Like I said, I did my best to make sure I got everything that was going to be trouble.
What's the best decision you've ever made then?
I say making my son, man. That was the best decision I ever made. Making my son. Yeah, man. Proud of him, man. He's in the orchestra. He's in everything. No free time. He's in the orchestra, Scrabble club. His school doesn't really have football. He's still in elementary school. Got
Okay.
like flag football.
You said he's in elementary school. How old is he?
10.
10. Okay. Great bond, great relationship.
Yeah. He's part of the reason why I was a little late. He wouldn't let me come out. I was like, bro, got toys and everything in the house. I said I had to get out the house. So
Yeah. It's all good. I mean, priorities, right? Like son first,
Right.
family first. So it's all good.
Family first, yeah.
Are you doing anything for personal growth and self-improvement?
I actually fell off of like reading books, man. So lately I've been trying to like get into reading more, taking time for myself a lot, man. 'Cause I noticed myself, I run around for everybody else. It's not for me and doing things for myself. And lately I've just been like, all right, shut my phone off, lock the door, gotta answer the door. Kind of like small steps into growing myself into knowing who I am. But,
Yeah. What's the saying? Every 1,000-mile journey begins with one step. So as long as you're moving in the right direction, you'll gain growth and improvement. Last three questions. What's your favorite book? Speaking of books.
Oh man, right now I'm reading The Alchemist. With girlfriend has been pressuring me to read for like I don't even want to tell you how long. I'm reading it right now, and I'm pretty sure once she sees it, she's like, that's kind of becoming one of my favorite books. Like I say right now, I'm like midway and really getting into it. I'm like, okay, all right, and I can see why you wanted me to read it. Me and my son read a book. It's called Every Friday, and I actually make him read it every Friday. It's about his son and his father. They go out during the day and they just do father and son bonding. That's probably like one of my favorite books right there.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I think you're the third person who's mentioned The Alchemist, and it's one of my personal favorites as well. It's definitely a book that I'd recommend anyone to read it. I think it's only like 200 pages, so everyone should be able to pick it up, process it, read it, and definitely highly recommend it. Very positive. And then also just the fact that you're reading with your son is commendable and something that I'd recommend. Making that time for reading and for books with our younger generation is super important, I think.
Yeah, definitely with the technology going on now, sitting your kid there with a tablet and be like, going over there, I'm going to go do something else. And you on Instagram, whatever you're doing, your kids over there, have no idea what your kids doing.
That's true, yeah. Can't filter out all the craziness of the internet.
Right, but if you sit down and be like, let's read this book together, you can filter that out,
Favorite movie?
Oh, man. It's hard, man. I have so many different picks. I would say Don't Be a Menace is one of my favorites, just because of the hard bond, of everything into it, and just like the lessons learned in it. A lot of lessons in it.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably one of my favorites. Yeah.
And then I'm looking forward to this answer since you seem to be very much into music. What's your favorite album?
Oh man, You really asking a hard question, man. You just look. You made the hard ones.
A lot of people cheat and give me like three, so don't hesitate if it's too hard to add more than one if you want to.
I'll say All Eyes on Me, Machiavelli. I can go into Jay-Z. I'll say Reasonable Doubt is one of them. See, and that gave you three. So yeah, man.
Definitely Tupac. Those two albums I think are his two best, and then with Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt is very much a hip hop head's album. Although
Right.
Blueprint is kind of like, dang, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't.
Blueprint.
You,
Yeah, all right. I
yeah,
mean,
you don't know, like you don't have to change your body. I was just me personally. It was kind of like Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint. Jay-Z got,
it's a lot of bangers. It's a lot of
yeah,
bangers. But I thought Reasonable Doubt because it was a start to all of those.
that's
I like.
true.
I like. Reasonable.
Well, Dion, it's been great talking to you. Thank you for taking time out of your Sunday to do the podcast and to talk to me. Appreciate you, and I'll see you on Monday. No, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
we have off
Monday.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm letting you know. I'll be in the house, man.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
All right,
All right, man.
great talking to you.
Great talking to you, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, take
have a
care.
good rest. Take care.